Hey everybody, it's Jeff here with Entrepreneur Essentials here at T-Werx, and welcome once again for another week. This Entrepreneur Essentials show, we get on here, we interview folks who are entrepreneurs in our community. They're people that are just like you, who have started businesses, or if you're out there and you're thinking about starting a business, it's a great way to live someone else's experience, see what they've done, how they've done it, and also how they have had struggles and everything else. That's what we try and do here. So I have my friend Anna, who
Hi.
is here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her businesses, because she's got several. But once again, right before we start, right down below me is our subscription button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you will get these as soon as they come out every week. So Anna,
Hi,
thank you for coming out today.
thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey.
So I started, I have 5 children and 6 grandchildren, and I homeschooled my younger children. And so when straight out of the chute of college, I was consulting with businesses and sold that business and started homeschooling my children. Really had a struggle with my youngest son. He had Asperger's and sensory processing disorder. And that took us on a journey. We started living to a label, and it was really quite difficult to do. And came to reading, and I couldn't teach him to read. So my husband and I, we worked together, and I went and got certifications in different reading programs across the country, and still wasn't successful. And someone told me about brain balance, and I'm like, no, that's on Bee Caves Road. I am not going down there. I can't afford that. Well, a year goes by, and my son still was struggling with reading. We had to have our doorbell turned off. Our phone could not ring. We needed to know when our neighbors cut their grass. And we were living to a label. So, long story short, we went to Bee Caves, and we went into Brain Balance, and they told us how much it was going to cost, and we were like, whoa,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
how can we do this and drive? Because it took us 45 minutes to get there.
And that's without traffic.
That was without traffic. And so you're homeschooling, and so we started Brain Balance, and within months, sitting on the couch for 6 months, I would see moms come in, and I thought these women had found some extra money and they were really taking care of themselves. And the fact of the matter was, they were able to take a shower without having to lock their doors and having all the stress. Our son, we turned on our phones, we connected our doorbell. He was not having meltdowns. By the time we
Didn't even have to consult the neighbor when they're going to mow.
No, we didn't have that kind of relationship. And our son did not have friends.
Wow.
And our neighbors would, ask us to keep him at home because he was a weird little kid.
Yeah.
And when we finished Brain Balance, he was 10 years old. And it was amazing. A total different person. And he had so many friends. And so we owned Brain Balance, and we flourished in the Westlake area, and noticed a lot of our clients were coming from Cedar Park.
Okay.
So we started the process of opening a center in Cedar Park, and during that time, our son was killed. He was hit by a car. And it was one of the most earth-shattering things one could go through. And we were so blessed by our community. The people in Cedar Park and in Westlake, they helped us go through this grieving process. Brain Balance corporate office sent people here to open our center for us in Cedar Park. The owners of Brain Balances, they came in to Austin and stayed and made sure that our businesses got off the ground and were doing quite well.
That's awesome.
We were able to go through this process.
Yeah, so you knew you had a family.
We did, and we have a family of total strangers, and they just all came around us. And our son has so many friends, even to this day. Now, as a mom who's been homeschooling and running a couple of businesses, I'm no longer homeschooling. Our youngest daughter, she's 18, and she graduated from high school and did great. And I found myself no longer part of the ballet community, no longer part of the homeschool community, no longer could I work in the Austin office comfortably. It was very uncomfortable for me to be there, and it did affect our revenue. And so I needed to step out, because I make it about me very quickly when I'm talking with parents who are hurting with their own situation. I don't need to make it about me. So I've had to take a step back and figure out, wow, what am I going to do when I grow up? You know, I have
Then you realized you're not going to.
Right.
It makes no sense to.
Right. So I had prepared my life. I have spent a lot of time with Dr. Melillo studying functional neurology. I have dove into all kinds of classes so that I am on top of the game at all times. And the business of Brain Balance has gone very well. I've learned a lot being a business owner to a business that didn't have a website or branding when we first purchased it, to a business that has 125 centers in the nation now. So it's very successful, and I've been blessed to be a part of it. But now I've kind of taken another step back.
And that was going to be my next question. What's new in your world now?
What's new? So what's new right now is I still own Brain Balance, and I have fabulous staff. And I have noticed over the years, I spend more time being a parent coach and doing teacher development. So I have decided that my new business is going to be Bauereis Consulting Solutions, and I am a business educator, parent coach.
All right.
We can do CPE hours for schools now. We do them for daycares, for private schools, and homeschool families. I'm going to start that this next year, is opening it up, because
that's your world that you know.
There's a lot of parents who are teachers, and they want to stay certified, and they need the hours, and so we're going to bring that on as well. And so I looked at Vistage and to be a chair for Vistage, and so that's my next journey.
I love this.
Is being a part of the community and helping the community grow. Whether you're in business, if you're an educator, or if you're a parent. And that's where I am today.
So tell me a little bit about now the parent side of it. I know you and I have had some conversations about this. So what are you primarily doing on that side?
Well, sometimes I'll speak in weaknesses. If a child is right-brained weak, they're more punishment-based. So teaching a parent to speak to the child that they can understand. For example, if you don't do this, you can't do that. If you are left-brained weak, it is reward-based. Look what you get to do when you're finished this. Those little subtle changes make a huge difference in a relationship.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I used to get very irritated with my own children because the ones who were super, super smart, I always felt like I had to justify myself, and it's like, dude, I'm the parent here.
I win no matter what.
I'm the parent, and you can't run with scissors, you know?
I don't have to logically make this argument for you, just don't do it.
But, and so it makes a better relationship in the home, and then appropriate consequences. You know, I have so many parents that I hear, well, they didn't do their schoolwork, so I took their phone away. Well, was their phone the problem? You know, so let's kind of take a look at it. And sometimes it's just restructuring. I've had parents come and say, well, they've just been sitting in class all day. They need to go outside and play. And then they come have a snack and they're too tired to do their homework. Okay, let's restructure our day. and let's watch how we're speaking to our children. And it makes a world of difference by making subtle changes. So when somebody comes into brain balance and they're having behavioral problems, that doesn't mean that they're a brain balance client.
Yeah.
Because you need to be 2-3 years behind social, emotional, or academic in order to be a fit for brain balance.
Okay.
But parents are tired, and so I'm going to work with them to help them get to where they need to be, because your child may not need brain balance. There's 1 in 4 families does need brain balance, but what
the other
about
3
the other ones?
are,
They don't. It's just restructuring,
Okay.
and it starts with conversation and being able to have a conversation they understand, but you have the authority in your home.
Sure.
Now, dealing with teenagers, let's talk
There's
to
no
contract.
logic there. Yeah.
Well, there's not. There's not. They're kind of like Clydesdales. There's a real long distance between the brain stem and the
That would be true. Yes.
So, teenagers, they are beautiful young adults. And I share this, they're rhetorical. If you are Catholic, they will be Baptist. If you are Republican, they will be Democrat.
Yeah.
That is the nature of the beast, of discovering how much they can push boundaries.
Sure.
Will you still love me if I am this or that? And a parent's responsibility is to ask who, what, when, where, and why. And until your child says, I don't know, they are not open and receptive to anything you have to say.
Sure.
So stay in conversation. And sometimes I found parents don't know how to have some of those conversations. And some of them are really important to have. So that's what I need to help people with now.
I love it. I love it. Very cool. All right. So fast 5 questions now.
Okay.
First question. Wake up in the morning, businesses are gone.
Okay.
You are starting from scratch, but you have all the knowledge in your head, $500 in your pocket, a laptop, computer, place to live. Where do you start?
First, I call everybody that outgoing money.
Okay.
For example, I'll get rid of television and landline phone, but I will keep the internet.
That's key.
Okay.
That's a tool.
So any money going out that doesn't really need to go out is getting cut off immediately. I give 30 days notice.
Yeah.
I would like 30 days notice. If someone did it to me, I'll do that to them. The next thing is I will get on my phone and Facebook, and I'll say, here's my gifts. Where are my clients? And I will reach out to the people who do know me and see where I can go from there. I've been pretty successful at that because it has happened.
That's awesome. Very good. So tell me about your biggest entrepreneurial error that you've made.
Okay, this is really embarrassing now, 5 or 6 years later. A magazine contacted us and promised all bells and whistles.
Of course.
And I asked the appropriate questions. Cost, demographics, this is my demographics, what are you working with? And I wasn't comfortable with it. I said, I don't think this is right. And the media person told me not to worry, that if it wasn't working in a month or so, we could get out of the contract. I did not get that in writing. And so after 3 months, because I believe in doing things at least for 3 months and run my numbers and look at what's going on. And I looked, and I was not having a return on investment. So we called, we canceled. A month goes by, and then we have this very angry bill collector. And I had to pull out the contract and say, wait a minute, this is who I talked to, this is what they said, but it wasn't in writing. So we ended up paying $18,000 for
getting zero return on investment.
Getting zero return on investment. And we did work out a $500 a month payment because that's all we could afford to do. So that was my biggest, and I guarantee it has not
ugly, painful
happened
one.
again. And if you were 1 day late on them receiving the check, it could have been because there was a holiday and the mail hadn't delivered it. They were on the phone with whoever was in our office, letting them know we were deadbeats, we didn't pay our bills, and we were like,
hell of a good customer service here, guys.
Right, and so I would just really recommend you check that contract.
Sure.
don't believe anyone. You want it in black and white,
Mhm.
and you want to know their supervisor's name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll sign a
It's a good-
contract now.
Good news. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good advice.
Right. That was an
I want to
expensive.
know who you work for too, because
Mhm.
they might not be there.
Right. That was
So-
that was a big burn, and
Sure.
that was really a big burn.
Yeah, that's huge.
hmm
Tell me a little bit about a book that you would recommend.
There are two books that I have just really leaned into and found
Mhm.
fabulous. And there is a Bible for leaders,
Mhm.
and it's called the Leadership Bible. And
Okay.
it is written, it's a Bible, but the commentary is written by about 12 entrepreneurs
Mhm.
in the country.
Okay.
And so there's different points of view, and it's been right on, all the way from writing your business plan to paying people appropriately,
Mhm.
things like that. It's been great. The other one is Traction.
Yes.
Traction.
That one's come up here almost at least 5 times in the last 2 months.
Yes, it is so important to have your processes in place and to follow those processes. And in the past, I've always taken a week or two off in April
Mhm.
and reviewed my processes. Are they still appropriate for my business today?
Yeah.
What kind of changes need to be made? And it's very consistent, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, we've actually, I implemented that in our Incubator program. I had
Love
to
it.
kind of, the book is a little challenging if you've not read it, that it's really designed for bigger businesses. And so taking it down to a smaller business is a little bit more challenging.
It is.
But we were able to kind of strip out some of the extraneous stuff.
Yep.
That we use it. That's a backbone of our educational programming here, because I just see that it works.
And I seem to be gravitating to anything Patrick Lencioni has written.
Just
I'm just
had that done. Yeah.
just a real big fan. If it comes out, I'm reading it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that's good to know when you have an author like that. It's like Michael McAllowitz for me is the same way. Anything he writes, one, it makes me laugh, but two,
Yeah.
it's just good stuff. So tell us a little bit about a tool that you use in your business every day that someone else might use.
Well, I do have a lot of electronics,
Mhm.
and I have great teenagers around me to help me work those
It's come
electronics.
to that, isn't it?
It has,
Yeah.
yes. Always keep a 12-year-old around. I've been really blessed to have that. I think that having electronics is very important today in business.
Sure.
And to keep up with the blow and go.
Mhm.
However, at the end of the day, I am a visual learner,
Okay.
and I learn through talk, and I really like to bounce things off other people.
Got it.
And so I have a group of people that I can talk to. I
Mhm.
have an assistant, and she's been phenomenal. I say, here's what's going on. For example, I could have, if I had back in the day, I have this contract from a media person. This is their demographics.
Mhm.
What do you think about that? Should
Yeah.
I do that? My group would have told me, well, it's
Mhm.
not in the contract,
Yeah.
and that would have saved me $18,000.
Sure.
So relationships, I believe, is one of my greatest tools
Mhm.
that I have.
Well, and I think having a group, we were just talking about that, about our Entrepreneurs Guild
Yes.
meetings on Mondays. Every other Monday, we have what we call the Entrepreneurs Guild here. And
Yep.
Anna's been part of that since the very, very beginning. And, I think we've all grown as a group.
Oh, definitely.
You need groups of people like that around you.
Definitely. I was able to use the entrepreneurs group to become the new business of Bauereis Consulting
Mhm.
Solutions, because they helped me see the assets I already have, and I would be living my passion and serving our community.
Mhm.
That is one of the biggest things for my husband and I, to make a difference in our community and to leave a positive mark.
Mhm.
And we are, through owning Brain Balance and doing coaching with others, we are making a difference in our community for generations.
Sure.
Not just for right here and right now.
Yeah.
And that is something that we want to do as a couple. And so by coming to the
That's
group.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coming to the group on Monday nights, it was kind of a joke at first. I'm going to go work for McDonald's,
Mhm.
where I could wear a uniform and not have to think or do anything.
Mhm.
And I was redirected very quickly,
Yeah.
that it would cause problems for others if I did that, because I've been able to successfully help other people in business and families. And so this group here helped me frame that. They helped me brand that.
Sure.
They helped me dig down into the deep questions. And there are still things I don't know that I should know, but this group has provided the answers.
Sure.
And
well,
I recommend anybody coming.
When you did your hot seat presentation, I think that was that moment that was, oh, okay, I see what I want to be when I grow up now.
That's right. That's right. And I'm still going to have fun. I'm going to play baseball more.
Yes,
I'm going to.
Well, maybe not for a while.
Yeah.
She hurt her leg this weekend, so she moved in here with the sleekness of a jungle cat walking across the room. So.
Yes, but as soon as the injury's taken care of and healed, I'm going to get back out there and having fun. And I think that's one of the things that, as being a business owner, when it gets tough and it's hard, having every other Monday night to come here to the entrepreneurs group and laugh about some of the stuff.
Absolutely.
But also walk away with some really serious charges and things you can do. There are action items, and it may have been something spoken to somebody else that really applies to you.
Sure.
So go out and do it. Don't try it. Just
do it.
Do it.
Just straight up do it.
That's right. And so this group has been phenomenal for me, and I don't know that I could ever thank the group that's been here enough for the Bauereis Consulting Solutions. If it were not for this group, I don't think I would be as far as I am into
or
a
you'd be
new
working
business.
at McDonald's, either one, and
I
driving
could be.
people crazy, apparently.
I could be. Well, my husband said something about I would have them streamlining things in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, at a McDonald's.
At a McDonald's.
Yeah.
When I was just looking for a no-brainer paycheck. But,
That's hilarious.
I know, but everybody should know their limits and where they are. But what's cool is I have a husband to come alongside me and say, woman, are you crazy?
Yeah, that's nuts.
We're not going to McDonald's. I do have a lot to offer, and I do look forward to working with businesses and with families and with teachers.
Sure.
We can really make a difference in our community.
Yeah. Well, and you've got that background too. You were saying with homeschool folks and all that too. I mean, that's a huge area, and you know that world very well.
I do.
So how does somebody get a hold of you?
The best way is going to be email right now.
Okay.
And it's anna@bauereis.org.
How do you spell that?
ANNA.
Got that part.
At. Here's the tricky part.
All right.
BAUEREIS.org.
All right.
Yep. That's
Very
how to
cool.
get in touch with me. And
Awesome. And it'll be on the it'll be right down below us in the show notes. So
Great.
feel free to just click right on that. It'll take you right to her email and website and every good thing like that.
great.
So Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming out. Folks, wonderful lady. Gotten to
Thank
know
you.
her over the last few months, and she's a jewel. Very funny lady, and a lot of heart, a lot of love that she puts out for other people and for our community. And really, if you need help from a coaching standpoint for your business, very smart business lady.
Thank you.
And if you need help with your kiddos, she knows what she's talking about. And if you have a kiddo that's got some major challenges, Brain Balance is there for you, and she can help you figure out if you even need it at that point. So thanks a lot. We'll see you guys back here next week. And Anna, thank you very much for coming today.
I appreciate it.